Welcome to Western Kentucky University, where tonight the Hilltoppers inside historic EA Diddle Arena welcome UTEP for not just a Conference USA matchup, but a rematch of the Conference USA Tournament Championship from a year ago. I'm Tyler Eaton, joined by Hal Schmidt, and Hal, these are two teams that bring back a lot of pieces from those squads last year, but very different seasons so far. UTEP at the top of the conference up to this point, WKU trying to battle through injuries and find their footing.
Well, Coach Joe Golding for UTEP and his 8 returning starters certainly remember how their season ended last year, and they would like to exact a little revenge on the Hilltoppers this year, I'm sure. Hilltoppers not playing up to what they expected, but they've been battled through a lot of injuries, so they're just trying to cobble some some different lineups together, different looks to get things going the right way for them.
UTEP has continued to ride that experience, and one of those experienced players, senior Otis Frazier, who leads this team that leads the country in forced turnovers.
Yeah, he does a great job of stealing the ball. He had 8 in the game against Kennesaw State. He averages about 2.5 per game.
For WKU, Don McHenry looking to lead the charge again offensively. He scored 20-plus in 2 straight games. He's continuing to piece things together. Alongside him, it's so many different players that rotate in and out, but he's got to find a way to be the constant.
Yeah, Don has, when he's been good and been efficient, the Hilltoppers have played well. They rely on his leadership and his scoring ability, and when it's not there, they struggle.
UTEP all season long, it doesn't matter who they face, they've been forcing turnovers, so it's hard to call it a key, but especially tonight important, Hal, because WKU on the other side, they also thrive on forcing those turnovers and getting out and running.
Yeah, UTEP has forced 6 more than they commit, so they've done a nice job of doing that. Hilltoppers also like to turn up the heat a little bit defensively and do a good job of their own.
And WKU as a team, they've got to find a way to score efficiently tonight.
Oh, absolutely. They've struggled from the field a lot.
WKU is 10-1 this season when they shoot at least 40% from the floor. 10 straight wins. They lost the first time out when they did that. All 3 of their conference wins, how coming when they shoot at least 40% from the floor. And interestingly enough, in this game, Don McHenry coming off the bench again for the Hilltoppers.
Well, again, we talked about it in the opening that Hank Plonage just continues to look for various lineups that make it work, and that's what he's gone to lately, is keeping Don on the bench.
WKU wins the turnover battle, at least to start this game. It comes up to Christian Lander on the right wing. Tried to flip it outside. Fortunately for WKU, they keep it down low with Keita, the big man, getting the start. Now into the corner. 3-pointer faked off the drive. Kalambe, again, another tip pass. WKU somehow saving this possession, but couldn't finish with the score. And now the ball goes down for a jump ball. Arrow will keep it on the Hilltoppers' end.
Jackson misses the up and under shot. It looked like a pretty easy shot for him, but not able to convert. He's not known for his offensive capabilities, but in the last 7 games, conference games, he's had 15 steals and 14 assists, only 3 turnovers.
Averaging 1.5 steals per game as the layup is missed on the left side by Kalambe, who's really come on as an offensive player for WKU during Conference USA play. On the other end, right to the basket, it's missed by Devin Barnes. Good clean contest down there by Keita for WKU.
UTEP is a very poor rebounding team. It's amazing to me that they are being out-rebounded by their opponents by almost 9 per game.
But they're great at forcing turnovers, and they're great at scoring off turnovers. That time, David Turrell, the beneficiary, he's averaging 7.4 points per game. Their best passer, just over 3 assists per game on the season. And just about every player on this team, Hal, it's going to be relevant, is averaging upwards of a steal per game. They've got 4 that are in the range of 2 steals per game.
Yeah, very focused on getting in passing lanes, anticipating passes, make it hard on the opposing point guards to run the offense.
Lander up top, gives it to Wu Marshall into the corner. Shot doesn't come off before the horn, and WKU there. We talked about all the steals for UTEP. That time, they forced a shot clock violation in the half court.
Well, they continue to put the pressure on and force the guards out almost to the logo near half court, and you really can't be efficient running your offense when you're setting it up that far out, but that defensive pressure forced them out that way. You're going to need to make use of some backdoor cuts, some jab steps on the wings, backdoor cuts to loosen that defensive pressure up a little bit.
Still no Barbacar, 5 for WKU, missing his 11th straight game, and again, no Julius Sedford. This is 3rd game out with a right knee injury. That's the case for both of those two. Up top, 3-pointer fake, now over on the left side, triple on the way. That one left short by Barnes, and here comes WKU the other way with Marshall handling probably their best rebounder, at least in terms of numbers. with no Phi out there, but Dare has it poked away from behind and stolen away by Barnes. He's one of those that's around 2 steals per game at 1.6. There looked like another clean contest, but the foul comes in as Cada tried to go up and prevent another basket. This time gets called.
WK already with 3 turnovers. That time Marshall was careless. He tried to spin, and they snuck in behind him and took it away. So we'll see the replay there. Marshall just committing the 3rd turnover on the Hilltoppers, resulting in points the other way off those turnovers if they make the free throws.
Kevin Kalu will take the trip to the stripe. He makes the first of these 2 free throws. 67% shooter on the season as Cada comes out for WKU. We're going to see this rotation of the 2 bigs with Leroy Odiaye checking in. The Irishman, those 2, again, with no Phi, they've really been forced into bigger minutes maybe than expected. But it's been a successful rotation between those 2 back and forth.
They've done pretty well. They're not, neither one are big scoring threats, but they've done a little bit better job on the glass and their defensive presence down low.
Free throws split. It's 3-0 UTEP early on. WKU just 2 shot attempts in this game to go against 3 turnovers. Lander gets inside, left block, looked like it was affected down low. Great defensive play by Frazier. Brings it up in transition himself, nearly lost it, but now they'll reset. They want to work it down low to Kalu against Odiaye. He's fouled out of 2 straight games. That time defends it well, but it doesn't matter. Just a great post shot from the 4th-year player here at UTEP, Kalu.
Yeah, Kalu using that body, that girth against a pretty lean Odiaye for WKU, able to get the bucket in front of the rim.
Kalambe fakes the corner 3, gets inside. Nice acrobatic finish to put WKU on the board.
Took a while to get the cover off for WKU, but Kalambe finally with a drive to the basket. And that's how you loosen up the rims, is take that ball to the basket.
He's been in double figures 9 times this season, 4 out of their last 5 games. As we get a whistle away from the ball against the Hilltoppers. That one's on Marshall. And we see Braxton Bayless in for WKU. Coming off a great performance last time out against Sam Houston. 16 points, went 2 for 3 from outside. He's only shot it 22 times from deep, but he's made half of those attempts from outside. And how we were talking before the game, you think WKU could really use him to be more aggressive offensively?
I think so. He's been very efficient offensively. Great shooting percentages. He's taking care of the basketball, so more minutes and more shot attempts.
McHenry out there for WKU as well. Nearly came up with a steal. It ends up on the block. Now they go outside. On the drive, Barnes has to pull it back out, defended by Bayless. 3 seconds on the shot clock. With 2, gets it off. It missed, being bobbled around, and WKU forces a shot clock violation of their own.
Tete-a-tete. Yes, UTEP forced it on the other end a couple of possessions ago. WKU that time makes him go deep before getting his shot off. It didn't draw iron, so Tops get it to go the length now. 2nd turnover on the Miners.
These are 2 teams in the bottom half of Conference USA in scoring on the season. This is pretty much exactly how you would expect this game to play out. Both of them so good at forcing turnovers, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. Bayless wraps around a double team, kicks it out right corner. McHenry fires for 3. We're tied up.
That was a good penetration and kick out to the corner. They were double teaming out on the left wing. Once the ball handler got past that double team, now you've got numbers going the other way. Look for the kick out, take it all the way to make them stop you, and then kick the ball out.
McHenry 6th in the conference at just over 17 points per game. Ball goes into the left corner. UTEP wants to answer for 3. That one off the front side of the rim, off the hand of Frazier, and here comes WKU the other way with McHenry. Wanted to get it to Bayless, somehow got it to him in the corner. Now to Lander for 3. They've made back-to-back.
Lander likes that corner shot. He's a very streaky shooter, so that may bode well for WKU if Lander can find his stroke early.
Bayless did not expect that first pass to get to him. Kind of juggled it for a moment, but a good heads-up play to get it over to Lander. And all of a sudden, WKU has a 3-point lead. Frazier up top, now gives it up on the wing, and again they want to go down low to Kalu. Able to get out Kalambe, but there with the help and the block is Odiaye.
That's the influence that the big man can have down low with that big long frame of his.
Bayless wants another 3. That one misses long, and here comes UTEP the other way. Devin Barnes, the El Paso native, transferred in from Tarleton State after a year at Triton College. Ball goes into left corner. Quick trigger 3 is missed, but a foul as Bayless came out to contest and close too hard. 8-5, WKU leads it through the chaos inside Diddle Arena. early on. Hilltoppers with a couple of threes to take the edge. It's been turnovers both ways, but WKU has the early edge. 8-5, WKU leads over UTEP early on inside Diddle Arena. The Miners under fourth-year head coach Joe Golding, 14th year overall, came here after 10 years at Abilene Christian, and Hal, he's done a fantastic job with his Miners program.
He really has. He's got them buying into the defensive end of the floor, and we all know that's where the rubber meets the road on the defensive end. Everybody wants to see 99 to 102 games, myself included. I love high offensive games, but I appreciate the effort and the commitment it takes on the defensive end to be a really good team. And you got to have both. You got to have good offensive potential, and you got to have guys committed on the defensive end that want to lock somebody down and not let them get the buckets.
Hank Plona, in his first season as the head coach at WKU, was an assistant under Steve Lutz. Really didn't want to change too much with the identity of this team, and has his squad battling through injuries. So far to an early lead against this UTEP team as the first free throw for Devin Barnes out of the timeout falls.
WKU and UTEP, the rarities, I think, going forward, they both brought back most of their players from a previous season. And with the portal and the NIL, it's going to be harder and harder to make that happen. But Hank Plona only changed the character of this team because of the injuries. He didn't make any drastic changes in lineups or anything else, but he's had to make some changes because of the devastating injuries. 3 really devastating injuries to the Hilltoppers this season that have caused them to do things maybe they didn't want to.
UTEP now getting to do what they're built to do, make shots and set up that full court defense, but Kalambe gets inside, he draws contact, and he'll head to the line for 2 free throws of his own.
Kalambe aggressive taking that ball in. Sometimes he is not the best at passing that ball off. You can see in this replay, he had Odiahi going away from the double team, and he was open for a dump-off pass, but Kalambe took it into the contact. Good news for WKU. He's an excellent free throw shooter.
84% on the season. I was afraid we were about to double down on the broadcast jinx.
You believe in that?
Ahead of that first free throw. I do a little bit. I didn't for a long time, and then I had it happen for the first time. And once it happens, you really can't rattle that feeling of the first time that you're the one that brings the jinx, because you always think it's not you, it's everybody but you. As here, he 50%. Splits the 2. Do we take the dent on that one?
I do not. No, a generational difference there. I don't believe in the jinx.
David Turrell brings it across for UTEP. Guard averaging 7.5 points, 3 rebounds, team high 3 assists per game on the year. Over to Frazier, pulls it to the left wing. Now ball up top to Baylor, have the Colorado State transfer. Back outside, Turrell gets inside. Odiahi again able to force a miss. Trying to save it as Lander floats it ahead. McHenry, 2-on-1 for WKU. McHenry keeps it himself. Missed the layup, but a foul comes in late against Head.
Well, again, WKU on the 2-on-1 break opportunity there. McHenry took it in maybe one dribble too far.
Yeah.
You got to. I've always taught that you stop the penetration somewhere around the free throw line, make the defense commit to you before you commit to your offensive progress. So you're either going to shoot the ball, take it in and shoot it, or you're going to dump it off to a teammate. McHenry took it in that time to the defender. Too much contact. He was fortunate to get bailed out on the foul. Hits the first one.
He's averaging 6 free throw attempts per game in Conference USA play. He's taken 5 or more the last 5 games, averaging 8 per game over that stretch. That's a big key for WKU overall, a team that's on the season taking 21 free throws a game. They make the second most in Conference USA at 15.5. As a team, pretty efficient, 74% from the line. And with those 2, they've got an 11-8 lead.
WKU bringing some full court pressure and forces the turnover the first time they show it.
Lander tipped the pass. Bayless in transition, nearly lost it, got it back, and then lost it again going up with the shot. Which way are they going to rule this going?
It's going to go the other way.
I think that's the right call.
I did too. The official that was out saw it better than the official on the play, and that's highly likely. A lot of people don't understand. If you've never officiated games, you don't understand what a difficult job that is, especially when you're on the play. They expect you to see everything, and you can't. You're limited on what you can see.
KJ Thomas holds it up top, freshman from Amarillo, Texas, 4th-rated point guard out of the state. Coming out of high school, holds it on the right wing and goes into the corner to Head. Baseline drive, stuck in traffic, threw it up top, batted around, Now he gets it back in the corner with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Drives, spins, 1 second left, lost it, and WKU was ready to run, but right before Lander got possession, the shot clock expired.
I'm not sure what they called here. Did they call the shot clock violation?
They called the violation.
Okay, I never saw the sign. The official is explaining something to Hank Plona right now. Plona having none of it. Arms crossed, turns his back to him.
I think if nothing else, he wanted his boys to be able to get out and run there.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
UTEP 4 turnovers already, WKU with 3, and all 3 of those in the first couple minutes. 3-point lead for the Hilltoppers. Bayless spins from the left wing, had it knocked away from behind, but Tyrone Wu Marshall there to collect it. Tries to get it. I think he was actually going to Bayless, but then Lander cut in and got a hand on it and lost it. Frazier in the corner now, left side. Ahmad Bynum, he's their best shooter from outside, over 50% from outside on the season. Ball goes down low and another block. It's Christian Lander. He is everywhere for WKU.
Christian Lander, the guard, has got good elevation.
McHenry misses the transition 3. Last touch by Odiaye down low for WKU. It's been a great game on both ends for Christian Lander.
Yeah, Lander was off the play a little bit, but Kalu brought that ball to the left side.
Yeah, he didn't really have to jump up that high to get that one.
He did not. Kalu helped him out on that one, took the ball right into the defender, and Lander was able to knock that one away and not draw contact.
He's got 3 points, a rebound, a steal. On the right side, Thomas holds it, averaging 2 points per game. On the baseline, Elijah Jones tries to go down low. Knocked away, will stay with UTEP. Derek Hamilton in there, the big man, 6'10", 275. He only plays 9 minutes per game, but he scores 4 points, gets 2.5 rebounds when he's in there. On his official player profile, they just described him as a spark plug. You don't hear that often about a big man.
No.
But when you only play 9 minutes and you come in and you get 4 points a game in that time, that's exactly what you are.
That's efficiency. That's what you look for. Neither team putting on a shooting clinic right now. WKU 33%, 22 for UTEP. So having trouble finding the basket. Both teams on about a 2.5 minute scoring drought.
But you'd expect with WKU, they're the least efficient team in the conference in terms of field goal percentage. UTEP shooting 46% on the year. As Thomas drives baseline, stuck on the block against Bayless. 1 second on the shot clock, and the shot is not off in time. Another shot clock violation.
That's 3 of them in back-to-back possessions.
What do you think the over-under was set at for those?
You don't see it that often, but certainly you don't see back-to-back very often at all.
Especially for these two teams that want to get out and run so much, force turnovers, be able to get out and transition. Those turnovers really don't help either side, but they're at least keeping points off the board.
That's true.
McHenry drives off a screen, sends it into the corner. Quick trigger 3 is blocked out there by Jones for UTEP. And here come the Miners the other way. They have numbers. Bayless gambles for the steal. Can't get it. Left corner. 3 fired up. That one swishes home. Devin Barnes has been hunting that triple, and he gets it there.
Now they finally get a clean look. Hilltoppers' defense has been pretty good. And that 3 from the corner from Barnes ties it up.
Barnes has 6 early on, was fouled on the triple earlier. We made all 3 free throws. WKU turns it back over. UTEP nearly gives it back on the near side. Good play to stay in bounds by Turl, who then throws it away. Here comes Wu Marshall in transition, spikes it with the right hand.
That's why his nickname is Wu. He's an electric player, 6'7" out of Nashville, Tennessee. He certainly has spurtability, and you saw it right there. He gathered up the loose ball, took it in for the finish.
Some nicknames are hard to figure out. That one may be one of the easiest ones in college basketball. Deep 3 fired up. That one misses off the right side, and Bayless has it for WKU. The pace has been much higher than the score would tell you.
Turnover's a big part of that.
Bayless gets inside, hop step through the D, and finishes on the opposite block.
Not sure I wouldn't have called that a turnover if I would have been an official, but that's not our job. But anyway, puts the Tops back up by 4.
Diddle Arena crowd, surprisingly, had no complaints about it.
None.
Thomas wraps from left wing to the free throw line, lost it off his foot, got it back. Left side, back to Thomas, 3-pointer off the front side. Marshall takes the rebound away from McHenry, then gives it to Don in transition. Stuck in the corner, outside. Marshall fakes the 3. He's going to fire anyway. Left short. That one just came off a little flat.
It was.
Ball up ahead is tipped by Marshall, fighting for it, but Jones comes down with it, and he finishes in transition. That was like a one-on-one throw to a receiver, and he just won the battle that time and was able to score.
This is not a thing of beauty either way right now.
You mentioned the percentages. UTEP at just 31%, WKU 39%, which around that 40% mark they want to be at. As Jalen Jackson up top hits a cutting Bayless, his floater falls.
That's a tough shot. Momentum taking you toward the baseline. You don't have a backboard to use for any type of reference or to use as a skid for the ball, and just to hit it from that running shot is a tough one to connect on.
Bayless has 4, averaging 6.5 per game. On the left wing, Turl sends it up top. Three-pointer switched home. It's Devin Barnes again.
That's UTEP's second made 3, 2 of 6 on the game so far. So are the Hilltoppers.
Barnes had made a three-pointer in 8 straight games before their latest game against Kennesaw State, a 73-71 comeback win. Was only the second game all year they've shot less than 30% as a team from outside. Up top, McHenry lost it in a fight for it on the floor. Jump ball, I think, is quickly going to be called for the sake of everyone. And the arrow will send it to UTEP after the break. 17-16. WKU leads it over halfway through this opening half. McHenry leading the way with 5 for the Hilltoppers. Barnes already with 9 for the Miners. It's been a battle both ways, physical game early on. 17-16, WKU leads UTEP early on inside Diddle Arena. Tyler Eaton joined by Hal Schmidt. Both teams already with 6 turnovers in this ball game. How we knew that was going to be the case coming in, but this game perhaps has created even more chaos than we expected coming in.
You saw the last play going into the timeout. Terrell just shut Don McHenry down at the top of the key and took the ball away from him. That was the 5th of 5 turnovers for WKU. And they've got to be stronger with the ball if they want to be successful against this physical Miners team.
WKU, their biggest edge in this game is off the bench, 9 points to 2, but that number is going to be a little bit off in terms of reality because Don McHenry is going to play starters minutes, but coming off the bench in this one for a second straight game. It worked for the Hilltoppers last time out. As back underway, stuck under the rim was Heb, couldn't finish. And here comes WKU the other way with Jackson. As the mismatch against Frazier, although a forward, still pretty athletic, so I wouldn't call it much of a mismatch. Jackson still wants to try to go to work. Gets caught on the block, sends it down low, juggled, but Cada gets it back. Outside to Jackson, fakes the 3, slices inside, leaves it on the left block, but it's lost, though they're gonna say last touch by UTEP. It looked like Colombe might have just lost that ball out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Hilltoppers on the baseline.
They didn't have a real good look. There was a lot of bodies between me and the ball right there, so we'll get another look at it here and see the pass. Looks like Heb might have poked it away from Colombe and got a piece of his nose in the process.
Jackson will inbound. Goes to Lander. Cuts baseline back out to Jackson. To Edlin for WKU, and the pass is a little high, a little hot for Colombe on the left wing.
That's a 7th turnover for the Hilltoppers. Right now, rebounds are pretty even. WKU with a 2 edge. It's interesting. As good as this Miner team is, they are so poor defensive or on the glass.
Yeah.
They've been out-rebounded by every conference opponent except Liberty, and they beat Liberty on the glass by 1. So they really struggle there, but right now they're hanging with the Hilltoppers.
Turl makes the jumper to give the Miners the lead as turnover is forced there. It was Heb that got on the floor for it up ahead in transition. Again, it's Turl who's the beneficiary, and that's how they want to operate.
Well, that's what they're doing right now. They're turning the Toppers over at a high rate. That's the 8th turnover already, and they've scored 7 points off those Topper careless turnovers.
Up top, Jackson off the Colombe screen. Fakes left, tries to go right, cut off. Really good on-ball defense out there by Barnes. To Lander, spins away from the first defender, gets inside through the contact, able to throw it up and in over Kalu.
Lander's a left-hander, so he was on the side of the floor he wanted to be and loves to use that glass on the drive.
Lander's got 5. He's been in double figures 9 times this season. One of those 10 points last time out against Sam Houston. Ball deflected out on the near side, appropriate to send us to another break. Active hands for both sides as UTEP has flipped the script and taken the lead. 20-19, 7:22 left in the first half. 1 point edge for UTEP, 20-19 here inside Diddle Arena. Tyler Eaton joined courtside by Hal Schmidt. UTEP the edge early on, 6-2 in fast break points, and off turnovers, that's where they thrive.
Yeah, UTEP's defense is just too sticky to allow a guy to casually drive down the middle of the lane. Too many hands involved there. That was the 8th turnover for the Hilltoppers, resulting in the 7th point off of those turnovers. So both teams need to be a little more careful handling the basketball.
Miners already with 6 steals of those turnovers. They lead the country in both steals and turnovers forced. Out of the timeout, left side 3 is drained by Bynum. Thought he was fouled as well. It didn't matter. He still knocked it down.
Yeah, that was a tough shot. He was guarded well.
Lander gets inside, again flips it up with the left hand and scores. That for Ahmad Bynum was the 48th three that he's made this season. Came in 6th in Conference USA. He's just off of qualifying for the national leaderboard in terms of percentage because of his attempts. If he did qualify, he would be leading the country at 51% from outside. He wants to raise that percentage with another look. Missed that one long. And Colombe has it for WKU. Frazier's down behind the play. The Hilltoppers have a numbers advantage. Colombe gets inside. It's knocked away. Edelin saves it behind the back to Lander.
Oh,
showtime.
There's one for the replay books. Look at that, behind the back, out. Not only was it saved, but it was a fantastic assist, probably the best of the game.
It gives WKU the lead for a moment as well. Right side, three-pointer faked. Hebb gets inside. His runner misses, but he's fouled by Edelin. And injured. Well, Carfi didn't like the call for WKU on the bench.
Hebb will go to the line for 2 for the Miners. He has not attempted too many, but he is an 82% free throw shooter on the season. 9 of 11 coming into this one tonight.
First of those 2 swishes home. Mentioned earlier, he played a couple of years at Colorado State, got to be a part of the team that went to the 2022 NCAA tournament. McHenry and Tyrone Marshall back in for WKU, as well as ODI. Lander already with 10 for WKU, which how I was diving through these numbers, and I told you how much this stood out to me as the second free throw falls. They are 8-1, the Hilltoppers are, when he's in double figures this year. They've won 8 straight when he scored at least 10, and he's done so in all of their Conference USA wins up to this point.
He's a very streaky scorer for WKU. And the difference between him and McHenry is that the team really counts on McHenry to score, and when he doesn't, it can be devastating for them.
That was a heat check from the corner, misfired, coming the other way. It's Turl, guarded by Marshall. Now goes up top to Elijah Jones, puts it on the floor against ODI. He's stuck on the elbow, flips it down low, and spinning away from McHenry and scoring is Frazier.
McHenry gambled there low on the block, tried to poke that ball away, and did. It cost his team 2.
Frazier, their leading scorer on the season, averaging almost 15 a game. Not just his first bucket, been a quiet night for him, but still the Miners up by 3. And there a miscommunication as McHenry was starting to wrap to the top, and ODI thought he was going to stay in the corner.
He looks over to Coach Plona and taps himself on the chest, admitting that he made the mistake, but I don't think that was a secret to anybody in the gym that saw that one. That pass was sailed way out of bounds.
And those are the turnovers you can't afford when UTEP is already racking up all the steals they're going to get.
That's right.
3-point lead for the Miners. Turl gets a screen, works left to right, kicks it out into the corner. Hebb fires up a 3. That one misses off the lip, and it's rebounded opposite side by Marshall to McHenry. Crosses over both sides. Head fake, gets inside, takes the contact. Foul against Hebb.
WKU trying to get out and score in transition, unable to do so. Miners have defended the transition game very well. WKU only putting up 2 fast break points to this point in the game. 4:53 to go in the half.
They're 3 for 4 at the free throw line as a team. UTEP 6 for 7 for the game. The Hilltoppers just 2-6 this season when their opponent makes more free throws than they do, as McHenry makes the first of these 2. 20-plus points, back-to-back games. It still hasn't been a super efficient stretch. Both of those under 40% shooting as he goes. For the most part, you'll see this team go in that regard. Second free throw rattles off. Very rare miss for an 83% shooter.
Yeah, he's missed a couple of them here.
Ball up top, Turl spins off Lander. Great move to get inside. Nice finish, and laying it in lightly was Jones. I think he wanted to flush that one home, but lost control.
Well, he most definitely did, but lost the grip on it. Settled for the layup.
Both teams now with 4 fouls in the half. And WKU will inbound from in front of their bench.
Both teams went through a spell where they just were not scoring baskets, but WKU's hit 4 of their last 5 and UTEP 5 of their last 7, so things starting to heat up a little bit.
Lander drives left side, leaves it in the corner. Jackson for 3. That one misses off the heel. Columbia tried to knock it out, but a good heads-up play by Frazier to get in position to grab it. Turl fakes on the block, now kicks it out. Frazier 3. Off the left side, and Marshall clears.
Jackson for WKU still looking for his first 3. He's missed 13 on the season.
Marshall to Jackson, thought he might fire up another one. Instead tries to go to Columbia. It's knocked away. Frazier wins the foot race, but has it knocked away from behind by Jalen Jackson.
There are few backcourt defenders as tough and as gritty as Jalen Jackson is. He's very, very fast, very quick in transition, and hustled back, kept that one from being an easy layup. You see it on the replay here. Columbia went down, was going to be no consequence, but Jackson hustled back, kept that ball from going up for an easy 2.
Game here from Texas A&M Corpus Christi with Coach Steve Lutz. We're going to get a timeout from UTEP due to that WKU pressure. Jackson was the Southland Tournament MVP in 2023, largely because of what he does on the defensive end of the floor. That time saved a bucket, but UTEP still leads at 29-25 thanks to 10 WKU turnovers early on. WKU 3-4 in Conference USA play against the UTEP team, tied for the top spot in the conference right now. They trail it by 4 early on. Christian Lander has been doing everything for WKU. Here, the beneficiary of a highlight reel pass from Jack Edlin.
That was sweet. Hilltoppers only have 4 assists in this game. That was 1 right there, the only one Jack Edlin has. Couldn't have been better if they'd have drawn it up that way, but right in Lander's lap. He leads all scorers with 10 at this point.
UTEP already with 8 assists on their side on the season. They are 8-0 when they have at least 15 as a team, 3-0 in conference play. They've been able to at least make their assist-to-turnover ratio look respectable. 8-6 for them on the side for WKU. You take those assists you mentioned with 10 turnovers, you got to find a way to balance that out.
Absolutely.
Off the inbound, right side, clear look from the elbow. That's missed long, but it's rebounded by Frazier. Bynum lost the ball on the way up. I don't think Lander touched it. They say he didn't. Somehow Bynum just lost control of it trying to fire up the 3.
Yeah, I think he was going up and just didn't secure the ball on the way up. The momentum took the ball well up out of reach from anybody and out of bounds behind the WKU bench.
Elam will bring it up for WKU. The Louisville native from Male High School. 5'10 sophomore gives it off to Marshall. Stops on the right elbow to Edlin. He fires for 3 from the left wing, and it's rebounded on the opposite side by Turl. He's a great rebounder for a guard. Crosses over left to right, guarded by McHenry. Sends it out top of the key. 3-pointer fired up. That one's missed long by Elijah Jones. Just his 13th attempt from outside this season. He's made 5 of them.
Both teams missing 7 of their 10 3-point attempts.
Lander scores again, slices through to the left block.
He is like that little spot on the court, right on the left side, just outside or just inside the lane. That one was right into the bucket. Hard to miss it.
Barnes on the left wing. He leads UTEP with his 9 points, gives it up down low. Layup is missed by Jones, but he'll go to the line for 2.
Edlin was there to flash at that ball and disrupt the shooter just a little bit.
It's been even more rare, which is strange for a 6'8" player like Jones for him to be at the free throw line, even compared to the 3-point line. This is just his 10th free throw attempt of the season. Good shooter. He's made 7 of the previous 9, averaging 3 points, 2 rebounds per game. Had 12 points, his season high, in just 15 minutes last time out against Kennesaw State. That one misses long.
Second miss for UTEP. They're 6 of 8 at the free throw line. WKU 4 of 6, and not a lot of free throws being attempted in this one.
UTEP does a really good job for all the pressure that they apply of doing so without fouling. WKU, we've seen it in spots this year. They're capable of doing the same way. They have so far in this one. As the second free throw falls, and UTEP's lead is 3.
Miners going to bring full court pressure.
As Kalu comes back in, they continue to rotate through those bigs of Kalu, Jones, and Hamilton.
See if they double team. They're not going to double team out of it, so it's just man-to-man pressure. Lax off the ball.
Really just looked like they wanted to make life difficult for the inbound.
That's right.
Lander thought about a deep three, gets inside, fires it out last minute. Hint McHenry, triple. That one misses far side. Colombe, though, chases down the rebound on the baseline. To McHenry. Fires again from the corner. That one falls.
Tough shot under duress. McHenry able to get that one up over the defender's hands. Puts the Toppers back in a tie now with UTEP 30.
4-3 for WKU. We were talking during a break that I think we both expected the Hilltoppers to try to shoot it a bit more from outside. And as this first half has progressed, we've started to see that now as of late for WKU. On far side was tipped, but collecting it and stepping on the baseline was Bynum.
8th turnover for the Miners.
WKU is a much better shooting team here at home. They make about 10 threes per game at home, and they're much better, as you would expect, in their wins compared to their losses. But it's a stark difference. In their wins this year, they make 9.8 threes per game, and their losses 5.8.
Yeah, they have struggled in a lot of games shooting threes.
Lander floats it up. You can't struggle from outside when you drive in like that.
No,
and
sir.
It's flushed by Odion.
Now that puts it right in Leroy's wheelhouse. He was able to go up with that big, long, lanky frame of his and flush that one through, give the Hilltoppers a 2-point edge.
That's the pressure that Lander puts on when he's scoring it like he has so far in this game. Left side answer is missed by Frazier, and here comes WKU. They lead at 32-30 now on a quick 5-0 run. Bayless to McHenry, fakes a three, now back outside to Bayless, puts it on the floor. Stuck at the elbow, spins left side, fading away. That one missed well short. And UTEP will save it in down low, as I think their Kalu just wanted to add the rebound to his stat sheet. Right wing drive, Barnes gets all the way to the left side, leaves it on the block for Kalu. Can't finish, Odiai defends it well again. Double team comes, left on the baseline, extra pass made, Frazier couldn't finish.
A lot of contact there, no calls.
McHenry stuck up top to Odiai, now gets it back under a minute left in the half. McHenry drives in, lost it on the way to the basket, and it's stolen away. Here comes Frazier at the last moment, leaves it down low for Turl. He was open for a while, was a late pass, and then it's fired in to Kalu, who's fouled underneath.
Well, you better wrap it up, and you're going to the rim in this one. There's a lot of contact both ends of the court. Got to be tough with the ball.
That one's pretty clear.
Yeah, Bayless across the forearms of Kalu going to the basket on the secondary break.
They've let a lot of it go on both sides. It's been pretty consistent both ways.
Well, that's one thing that coaches have to tell their players. You know, players want to complain and whine that they're being fouled and you're not getting the benefit of the call. Right. Hey, if that's the way it's going to be played, you just got to toughen up a little bit and play through that contact.
Kalu is 67% free throw shooter on the season, makes the first of these two, averaging 6.5 points, team high 5.3 rebounds per game, as their most efficient player from the floor at 64%, but it's pretty easy to see why almost exclusively operates within about 4 feet of the basket. He can tie it up with this second free throw. That's, besides the turnovers, been UTEP's biggest edge. This will be free throw number 10 of the game, and it's perfect.
It'll be 14 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock in this, so WKU not able to work for the last shot unless they're the beneficiaries of an offensive rebound.
Lander, left wing, cross court, Jackson jabs right, drives left, pulls from 12 and parries the mid-range J.
Good jump shot by Jackson, again not known for his offensive capabilities. Oh, boy, Joe Golding will not be happy about that. UTEP not ready to throw the ball in. Did not have anybody back, and Joe Golding letting his team know about it. You got to be on the same page. Barnes took the ball out of bounds quickly, partially his fault. Let the ball stay on the floor till the official makes you pick it up. Give your team a chance to figure out what's going on and get back and help. But Jalen Jackson had fallen back and covered up the pass inside, so there was really no alternative for UTEP but to call a timeout unless they wanted to lose that ball.
I was going to say the silver lining perhaps would be an opportunity to draw up a play for that final possession, but as you got to see the last bit of, there was nothing drawn up there in that timeout. That was exclusively Joe Golden getting at his guys for what you just talked about.
Yeah, you got to, championship teams can't take you can't take possessions off mentally. You certainly can't do it physically, but mentally you've got to be in tune for 40 minutes when you're out on that court.
Coach Golding, he's used to winning. Led Abilene Christian to a stunning win over Texas Tech in the 2021 NCAA tournament. 14 seed over 3, they pulled that one off. Has come to UTEP where he's 67-53 overall, off to a great start overall this season. At 15-5, 5-2 in conference. Tied for the CUSA lead coming into tonight.
Toppers really challenged that inbounds pass, and once they made the pass, they fell back defensively.
On the right wing, Barnes gives it up on the baseline. Frazier faces up, 5 seconds left to work with in the half. Double team comes, and they get a foul. Or Marshall was ready to run with it.
Oh, and that'll be the 7th team foul on WKU, so that's a free throw situation.
WKU did a good job of trapping at the right time, but Marshall just a bit too much contact. And like you said, not just a spot where if you don't foul, you force a turnover, and at the very least you get out of the half without UTEP scoring anymore. But with the bonus, chance for UTEP to tie this game at the line.
Yep. 3.4 seconds. So Hilltoppers, I mean, that's plenty of time to get
it is. You can get across half court.
Absolutely.
Frazier is 79% shooter at the stripe this year, averaging 14, 6 points, 5 rebounds, just under 3 assists. First of these free throws rattles out. Columbia gets the rebound, and Coach Plona takes a quick timeout to try to draw something up here with this now 3.1 seconds to work with.
Well, again, it's time. You've got to, from UTEP's standpoint, what they want to do is they want to force WKU players to come toward the basketball. They don't want anything going toward the basket. They want to get behind them, push them towards the basket. That keeps them from getting any momentum going toward the bucket when they catch it. They'll have to put the ball on the floor. But still, with 3.1 seconds, you got time for a couple of dribbles before you launch it.
Hank Plona won 86.5% of his games at Indian Hills Community College. He made sure the first time I discussed it with him that I included the 0.5%. He said that cannot be left out. 225-35, his record there. Comes to WKU. Got off to a hot start. Injuries have derailed it with Babacar Faye and then Julius Thedford as of late. But the Hilltoppers finding a way so far early on in this one. Up by 2 and looking to extend it with just over 3 seconds left to work with in the opening half.
They did everything right. They had a really tough pre-conference schedule. Really challenged on the road. Some teams, they had some good home games. Wichita State, Michigan.
Marshall was the one to take it from just beyond half court. It was online, but missed. And the Hilltoppers still able to take a lead into halftime. 34-32, they lead it over UTEP in this rematch of last year's Conference USA Tournament Championship game. Hilltoppers 4 3-pointers in the opening half. UTEP have made 3 of them. They've dominated the turnovers and at the free throw line. But the big thing so far in this one, efficiency for WKU. 13 for 26, a clean 50% from the floor in this opening half.
Certainly better than the norm lately.
Just a couple minutes before we get the second half underway from EA Diddle Arena, where the Hilltoppers of WKU lead at 34-32 over UTEP. Tyler Eaton joined by Hal Schmidt, and how early on for UTEP, it looked like we might see a career-type night for Devin Barnes. He was everywhere for the Miners. It's cooled off a little bit as the game has gone on, but still has been their best offensive player so far with his 9 points.
Well, he hit a couple of threes, and it's funny how the three ball can change the complexion of the game. When you're making it, boy, everything seems to go your way, but when you're not, it just creates turnovers when you're missing those long threes. But you see that UTEP able to get some things going off those turnovers. That's been the Hilltopper bugaboo in that first half. They're going to have to clean it up a little bit.
More often than not, it's been David Turrell who's been able to get outside there, knock down the mid-range jumper. You can see as soon as the ball is loose, he wants to get out and run, and somebody is going to find him for UTEP. On the other side, Don McHenry back in form for the Hilltoppers. We talked about efficiency as a team. He's only taken 4 shots in this game, Hal, but he's made half of them, been getting to the free throw line, and that's been his main way of scoring lately.
Yeah, he's very streaky and can score a lot of points in a very small period of time. So let's see if the Hilltoppers are able to get him unleashed.
Same applies to Christian Lander, who has really had a fantastic opening half. 12 points to lead all scores, 5 for 7 from the floor, knocks down a couple of three-pointers. Early on, it was really his defense that stood out, and the scoring came. And there, the highlight play of the night with the behind-the-back pass from Edlin. Beautiful play and a beautiful finish.
Good hustle play by Edlin, able to save that ball from going out of bounds and deliver a pass on the money to Lander on the wing, waiting to receive it and firing it when he did, and knocked it down.
Hilltoppers have won 8 straight games when Lander has been in double figures. Barnes on the season, well on pace with his 9 points to be in double figures for the 13th time this year. As a team, Hal, I mentioned this last segment, they've struggled to find clean looks from outside. They're normally really efficient from deep, second in the conference at 38% from three-point range. They've gotten to the line, which is really the other aspect of their offense, which is at a high level. That part's been there. I'm interested to see offensively in this second half if they kind of go away from the outside shot a bit and just focus inside where they've had more success.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how both teams have made adjustments at halftime. I know Joe Golding probably reminded his team that, hey, Christian Lander's a left-handed player. He likes to go to the block on the left side. He did
Which
it
is
4
a different
times
thing to
that
guard.
half. Yes, indeed. So he was able to find success, and that's why he's leading all scorers with 12 points. But he did it in the most common of ways, and that's taking the ball to the strong hand and putting it off the glass.
WKU have won 10 straight games when they shoot at least 40% from the floor. They're at 50% right now. The magic number for the Hilltoppers in scoring has been 70. They've won 11 straight when they hit that mark after their opening 2 losses of the season. Second half is underway. Hilltoppers have the ball first. Marshall drives baseline to Lander. Picks up right where he left off.
From the corner, get the scoring started with a 3 ball.
You got to assume, at least in his head, Coach Golding losing his mind after that. How is that the one guy that you lose to start the second half? Here comes Frazier looking to get going in the second half of play, able to get a foul against Keita on the drive. Very quiet opening half for Frazier. Goes 1 for 5 from the floor with just 2 points.
Yeah, very, very quiet for him. 4 rebounds, no assists in that span. He's usually pretty good delivering the ball as well, but not much of an impact offensively for his team in the first.
Has been in double figures 11 straight games coming into tonight. Now has a steal in 14 straight games. He is amongst the leaders in the country in that department, 16th nationally at 2.4 per game. Missed the free throw, and here comes WKU with a 4-point lead. Lander, deep left wing. Crosses over, takes the screen. Now fires it over to Kalambe. Keita holds, Jackson wraps. It goes to Kalambe, double team for a moment, now to Lander. Step back, Kalambe fakes the 3, steps back again, contested tray, missed opposite side, Keita gets the board, outside Lander, wants another, has another.
He's feeling it tonight. That's called second chance points right there. Toppers getting the offensive glass. Keita did a nice job kicking that ball out to Lander. He had plenty of time to consider that shot before pulling the string.
And WKU has their largest lead of the night at 7. Lander has 18. Up top, answer is missed short by Bynum. And here come the Hilltoppers. Marshall, right wing, couple between the legs, dribbles, fires it out to the corner. Jackson, quick off the drive, floats it up across the lane and scores. And UTEP takes an early timeout.
Yeah, Joe Golding has seen all that he wants to see in this one as the Hilltoppers jump out, scoring 8 of the first 9 points in this half.
2 more threes from Christian Lander. He's up to 18 points. He's 4 for 5 from outside. And the Hilltoppers all of a sudden lead at 42-33. 42-33, WKU leads it over UTEP early in the second half, in large part because of former high school All-American Christian Lander. Starts his career at Indiana, comes to WKU. It's been streaky at times, but on nights like tonight, Hal, you see why he was such a highly talented recruit.
He's got such a quick release on that left-handed jumper, and we've mentioned several times how streaky he can be, but when he's been on, it's been more like icing on the cake rather than the cake. That's where Don McHenry is. Don has created such a following amongst his teammates that they expect him to score and want him to score. Lander has just been able to kick in at times, and this is one of those times. He's played very well here so far in this one. Still a lot of time to go.
Marshall commits the foul out of the timeout. McHenry has still got 9 points so far, but the burden has been eased up with just 4 shots in the game as the Hilltoppers tried to bring pressure, but the contact leaves it with UTEP. Ball goes down low now into the corner, off the bounce. Barnes kicks it out, top of the key, 3. There's the answer from UTEP, and it comes from Otis Frazier.
Frazier, 33% shooter from long range. That's his first make of the night.
He's up to 6 points now, 4 already in the second half, and the lead is 6 for WKU. Jackson wraps right side. Colombe's left alone for 3. Off the front side, and it's rebounded down low by Turl. Up ahead, Frazier. Looks into 2 defenders, picks it up on the elbow. Looking for an option, now finally gets it off to Bynum, who stepped on the baseline. That's the second time he's done that tonight.
Once in the first half and one right there. Just got to know where you are. That court awareness is critical.
9th turnover.
I was just going to say
and
that.
Bynum's got 4 of them.
Yeah.
Here comes Lander for WKU, picked up by Turl. Full length of the court. To Jackson. Colombe fakes the 3, drives against Frazier. Gets to the elbow, had it poked away inside. And it's picked up by Turl, who fell backwards with it and now gives it back off to Frazier. Left side, Bynum pulls for 3 in transition, missed it long, and it's rebounded by Jackson.
Top's trying to run, but again, the Miners back to stop the transition.
Jackson gets into the paint and is able to flip it off the glass and score. He is so quick off the catch, and most of the times, Hal, he'll usually have a step before that ball actually gets to him.
Yeah, he's going the direction he wants to be going when he receives that ball.
Turl gets inside, stops, tries to fade, instead gives it off to Frazier, goes right into the body of Marshall, defended well, and it's rebounded by Cada. Lander brings it up left side, isolated on that wing, now sends it up top to Jackson, again working off the dribble, double team from behind, and it's poked away by Barnes. He has it in transition, goes all the way to the rim and scores around Marshall.
Barnes just does a good job of measuring that dribble, and when Jackson was trying to fancy dribble in the middle, behind the back, that's where Barnes steps in and poked it away and got 2 points, 2 more points off turnovers right there. That's 11 now for UTEP against the Hilltoppers, 13 turnovers.
Jackson has it on the right wing, doesn't take the 3, instead drives in, stuck on the block, flips it to Lander, kick out. Marshall off the ball fake. Extra pass Jackson, one more, Colombe wide open right side. It is short, rebound tipped, and it's off the fingertips of Cada, rebounded by UTEP. They've got numbers the other way. Turl inside, wrapped up and fouled by Jackson. (44-38) WKU leads as we'll head to another timeout. Things have slowed down after that explosive start to the half for WKU. UTEP have weathered the storm a bit as Frazier, their star player, looks to come to life. (44-38) WKU up by 6. Just under 16 minutes left in the ball game in Bowling Green. Tyler Eaton joined by Hal Schmidt. UTEP shooting 36% from the field so far. WKU now at 52% from the floor. Limited trips to the line for the Hilltoppers. They're just 4 for 6 to the stripe so far. UTEP about to have attempts number 15 and 16, but so far hasn't mattered because of the overall efficiency from the Hilltopper offense.
They've been good offensively when they've shot it. Again, the turnovers has been an issue. They had 11 turnovers in the first half. Nothing kills a rally like turnovers.
Yes.
The Top started out just blistering hot, outscored the Miners 8-1 in the second half, then quickly committed 2 turnovers, which resulted in points the other way. So the 9-point lead is now 4 at WKU.
Terrell makes the 2 free throws. Excuse our Kentucky accents. We've been lined up straight on that one. As Lander wraps left side, now drives in from the top of the key, kicks it out last second. Colombe wants one from the right corner, and there he gets the triple.
Yeah, Enoch has missed his first 3 attempts, but he hit that one from deep in the corner right in front of his bench.
On the block, Terrell now swings it out right side. Hebb tries a triple, and there's a quick response from the Miners. And it looked like on the way back, Hebb had a couple words for Colombe as well.
Yeah, he did. You don't have to be a lip reader to know exactly what he said either.
Lander holds it on the right wing, goes up top. ODI, he gets it back at the red towel logo. Has the mismatch against the big, tried to wrap it inside. Pass was deflected, but McHenry chases it down. ODI gives it right back to Don McHenry. Isolated on Hebb, step back, right wing Trey. That one misses off the back end, and it's rebounded by Barnes. Picked up by Braxton Bayless, back in for WKU. Nice find on the block, unable to finish is Frazier. Second chance opportunity, Hamilton, and he's fouled.
Rare offensive rebound for UTEP. ODI, he picks up that foul.
And I was here inside Diddle on the call when WKU played against Jacksonville State, and that was an example of a team in the second half. They just went to their big over and over again, and Big Mason Bingham, a similar size profile, of course, much more minutes than you're going to expect from Hamilton, but just caused WKU fits in that game with a double-double. And that's just because of the lack of size WKU has, but also how it's why we've seen now over the last few games Coach Plona really integrate that rotation of ODI and Cada, which is something that was non-existent before the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, I think it was that Jacksonville State where he, I guess, came to the realization that he's got to get the bigs in there because the Toppers were at such a disadvantage with their tallest player going 6'7", and they really took the short end of that when the bigs started going to work.
Now 47-45. Lander, double crossover dribble, gets inside, fades away from 6 feet, and he's fouled on a mid-range jumper by Hebb.
That's a bailout right there.
Yes.
Hebb did a good job defensively, forced him into a tough shot, then a little too close on the challenge, so Lander will be rewarded 2 free throws. So it'll only be free throws 7 and 8 for WKU.
UTEP on a quick 5-0 run over the last minute. This is going to be a game just because of the nature of these two teams. There are at times going to be some back and forth shots. We saw that earlier in the half as the first free throw goes. You're going to see a lot of mini runs because the way these teams operate with turnovers, getting out and running in transition. And really it's going to come down to A, who has the biggest run, or B, who makes the last run in this game, as Lander makes both.
Yeah, very well could be. And both teams are going to get their runs forced off of the turnovers.
Lander up to 20 points for the game, 3 off his season high. Ball goes up top to Frazier. Down low, they work it to the big again, unable to finish this time is Hamilton. Ball batted around, ruled last off of WKU.
Coach Hank Plona not happy about that call.
Was trying to discern if he was upset with one of his guys or the official, but then took a glance at where his glance was going, and it made that pretty clear.
Yes, this was to the stripes.
Frazier gets it on the elbow. Guarded by Marshall. Hit Hebb on a cut, but he bobbled it at first, and he has to wrap it out to the wing. Back down low, Hamilton. Through 2 defenders, able to turn and score with a drop step.
Yeah, nice spin move back over the right shoulder, left hand off the glass.
Again, he's that spark plug off the bench. He's got 4 points in 10 minutes. Those are his averages, so perhaps he will play a little bit more in this game tonight. 2-point game again. ODI hands to Lander, quick cut, and he's fouled. That's probably a good bump by Terrell to pick up, otherwise Lander was on his way to the basket.
Second team foul on UTEP. WKU with 14 fouls so far.
Marshall to inbound in front of his bench. ODI holds up top and they give it to McHenry. Works left side against Hebb. Posts up, turns and fades. Miss long, good extra pressure brought that time by Barnes. And here comes Terrell.
Little underhanded shovel pass, missed the mark. That was from Terrell of aiming for Hebb, but it had him a little bit led too far on the backdoor cut. Hebb couldn't catch up with it, so the 10th UTEP turnover, second of the half.
And for Terrell, just a second turnover to go alongside 5 assists. They're 7-1 this year. When he gets at least 4 of them, leads them with just over 3 per game.
It's going to be on one of the bigs out front, I believe. It was Hamilton and ODI. They were going at it at the top of the key as ODI was coming out trying to set a screen, but Hamilton was not allowing it. See that little exchange here at the top of the key.
Right side, McHenry for three, missed it long. High rebound is taken from Hamilton away from Hebb. And Barnes walks it into the front court. Seems like, Hal, on both sides, the whistle was tightened up a little bit.
Yes, I would say that's a very accurate observation.
Thank you.
That's what you're here for.
Left corner, Hebb goes down low again to Hamilton. Had it poked away from behind by Jackson, and McHenry's up with it for WKU. To Marshall, keeps it himself, and the finger roll goes all the way around twice and falls.
The transition basket for WKU, only their second in the game. And points off turnovers now, that's 9 for WKU to 11 for UTEP.
That's a battle that against UTEP you don't expect to win, but you got to keep it close.
Absolutely. Got to make your mark.
Left side, Frazier denies the screen, and it's taken away by Marshall. He lost it, but it's right to Jackson. WKU has numbers. Jackson outside Edelin. One more, McHenry fakes the three. Another fake. He felt the pressure from behind, and then the pass is knocked out on the far side. Active hands from Terrell. It looked like Frazier wanted a big chase down block if McHenry did pull it.
Well, I really tip my hat to UTEP. They've done a super job in transition defense, really keeping WKU out of their pace, not allowing the baskets in transition. They've really gotten back and defended well.
Just 4 fast break points for WKU in this game. Marshall has it baseline. Turns both ways, cuts inside Jackson. One more, Edelin wants the three. That one off the left side, and it's rebounded down low by Elijah Jones. Now in there is the big. This is a rare lineup for them with Jones and Kalu, two of those bigs on the floor. Right side drive, it's missed. Kalu had the offensive rebound, still fighting for it, does collect it, goes up and scores with Odiaye draped on his back.
WKU's going to have to find a way to match the girth of the two UTEP players that are in there right now roaming the baseline and giving the Hilltoppers some trouble.
You usually just see, again, one of those three bigs in the game, and that's been the case for most of this ball game. As McHenry drives, misses the floater long, but he's fouled. And he'll have 2 free throws after this break. That's what he's been doing these last few games for WKU. With these two, he'll hit his average in conference play of 6 free throw attempts per game. Hilltoppers haven't been there much, but they still lead it by 2 at the break. 2-point lead for WKU in a back and forth second half. The margin has not budged from what we saw at halftime. Tyler Eaton joined by Hal Schmidt as how UTEP has what has been the tough task this season, not of just trying to find a way to win one road game, but then go on the road against a really good MTSU team up next in that Saturday road game.
Yeah, you're going to start to see some separation as these teams in the lead, UTEP being one of them, Middle Tennessee being the other, really vying for that first spot right now. Murfreesboro's a tough place to win, so they'll have a 1 o'clock tip down at Murfreesboro. WKU will go on the road after the Saturday game. They'll play New Mexico State here, and then they'll go on the road to Kennesaw State, Jacksonville State next week.
Hilltoppers 3-4 start to conference play. Only 2 of those games inside Diddle Arena before tonight, so I know they're very happy to be within friendly confines. As McHenry missed the first of the 2 free throws, knocks down the second. Again, we said this earlier, an 80+% shooter on the season. Is 4 for 6 at the stripe tonight. WKU now 7 for 10. They made half as many as UTEP, but they still lead it by 3.
Toppers applying some full court pressure, drop it into a half court trap. And now they'll drop back to man after that, after the trap has escaped.
Still the 2 big lineup for UTEP out there. Ball goes on the left side, 3-pointer faked by Jones, puts it on the floor, working on Marshall, stops on the block, flips it up, and Edelin collects the miss. Here comes Jack Edelin. Wants Wu Marshall to come and get it. He does, slashing left to right, scoops it off the glass and in.
Like Lander likes that left side layup, Marshall likes the right side, cutting down that lane with a full head of steam. Hard to stop right there, pushes the lead back to 5 for WKU.
Marshall only 6 points, but a team-high 7 rebounds. Left side 3-pointer swished home by Jones. Mentioned this earlier, has not shot it much from outside. Now just 6 for 14 on the season, but his jump shot looks really good.
Well, he bombed that one 42%, and then
immediately Terrell took it away and scored to tie us up.
Careless turnover. There have been a bunch of them for WKU. That's their 14th.
McHenry gets inside, has it blocked. Couldn't tell if it was a goaltend or not. Jones seems to not believe so. He was waving the finger to the crowd. Don't know if they'll take a second look at that one or not, as WKU then picked up a foul in transition.
Boy, Jones is still really feeling the effects of his own block right there, just really wanting the crowd to know about it. Maybe that's the first block that he's had this season. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. But, boy, there's just play the game.
He actually just had a season-high 2 blocks against Kennesaw State. So I think there may be just enjoy the interaction with the crowd.
You know, as a coach, you want your kids to be a little more focused.
Correct.
Not let a player take you out of it. Certainly not let the fans take you out of it. And they'd like to see that kind of stuff go away, I'm sure.
He's the lone big on the floor, hands it off to Terrell on the drive. It's a tie game inside Diddle Arena. Terrell gets it into the corner of Bynum. It was deflected, but still ended up with Bynum. Somehow fires up a contested three over Lander and buries it.
What a shot.
You can easily see how he's such a good shooter.
I was going to say, showing why he's a 51% shooter from 3.
Bayless trapped at half court, tries to go down low, bad pass, and it's picked off by Frazier. Here comes UTEP up by 3 on an 8-0 run. And Terrell wants to slow it down at half court. Ball goes into the corner. Bynum drives in against Cada. Reverse layup, hung up on the front of the rim and fell through.
Got the kind rim roll, and now UTEP out to a 5-point lead. They were down 9 to start this half before you could turn around, but now they've turned it around, turned up the pressure. Toppers have turned it over 4 times, and UTEP trying to take control of this one.
And that right there was what we've seen Lander be able to do so many times in this game, because he's hit the shots from outside. That time, Bynum, you make a triple. The defense has to press out there into that corner, and you're able to beat your man, and what an acrobatic finish up and around Cada.
Boy, just got it up in the vicinity of the basket. He caught the front rim, just enough of the front rim to hold on and go through for him. That one forced Coach Hank Polona for Western Kentucky University to call a timeout, try to get his troops squared away.
UTEP shot just 36% in the first half. They're now up to 43% for the game. The efficiency has picked up. They're 9 for 16 from the floor in this second half of play. WKU still respectable, 7 for 15. But all of a sudden, the Miners have picked it up from inside the paint. They've started to knock down their three-pointers as well. They're 4 for 6 from deep in this second half.
Well, they've done a good job sharing the basketball, too. They got 13 assists on 19 made baskets, UTEP does. And that's a pretty good combination right there. So they've not turned it over quite as many times as has WKU, with only 12 turnovers.
Hilltoppers have to find an answer. Out of the timeout, McHenry sends it over left side, Edlin. Crossover dribble. Down low, it's juggled, but Cada gets it back. Fakes the pass and then finds Colombe wide open on the opposite block.
I'm not sure who was more surprised by that, Colombe or Cada, to see him that wide open on the right block.
And now some 2-2-1 pressure set up full court for WKU. They trap it just inside the half-court line. Frazier drives, sends it out up top Terrell. Extra pass into the corner. Trey Horton in for the first time for UTEP. Checked in just before that last timeout. He's averaging 3 points per game on the season. And here comes Lander from the top of the key. Gets that left block, and again, how they let him go left.
That's at least 5 times. I know Joe Golding, as much as he preaches defense and as tough as the Miners are defensively, that has been the weak spot right now, or this evening, in their defense.
Lander's a point off his season high with 8 minutes to go, but his Hilltoppers trail it by 1. He's picked up defensively against Bynum, who has it at the half-court red towel logo. Uses a screen, double team, knocked away, gets it back, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Stuck on the wing with it is Horton, just has to fire it up before the horn and doesn't catch any rim. I'm surprised with how the first half went, that it took us over 12 minutes to get our first shot clock violation of the second half, but there WKU a huge stop to keep the deficit at 1. 59-58 they trail it as we hit the home stretch of this one inside Diddle Arena.
Nothing like doing it with a forced shot clock violation.
59-58 UTEP leads WKU here inside Diddle Arena. Coaches versus Cancer Night at WKU. You see the attire for the WKU cheerleaders as this is an initiative that's been going on for quite a stretch now. It's always been fun for me how I could think back to watching broadcast and seeing a specific gear being used for coaches, different athletes across teams, and it's always good in college basketball to see an initiative that can span nationwide and have such a big impact.
Well, it's certainly a worthy cause to bring attention to.
Yeah.
You see the officials wearing pink lanyards, supporting that as well, and for their whistles. And I just think that's a really good cause. It's such a, cancer is such a scourge in our country, in our world, and continue to find ways to fight that and battle it, hopefully beat it sometime in our time.
Christian Lander has been a scourge to UTEP, driving left, and there did it again to set a new career high with 24 points. And most importantly, to the right now, give his Hilltoppers a 1-point lead.
And he leads all scorers right now by a long shot. Don McHenry for WKU, the only other Hilltopper in double figures with 10.
Ball up top, 3-point fired up by Frazier. That one misses long, and it's rebounded by Cada.
Probably not a shot that Joe Golding wanted to see right there as he quickly goes to his bench, brings Hep over to possibly replace Frazier.
McHenry crossover dribble, gets to the right block, and with the left hand able to float it in, falling from the basket. That's one thing about Don McHenry. We've talked about Marshall, the righty, wants to go right. The lefty Lander wants to go left. McHenry can go both ways.
He can, and he just does not like to take a shot on balance. He likes to be leaning one way or the other.
Frazier at the last moment passes out of the three, and it looked like WKU had knocked it away from Jones down low, but a foul called instead. That's the 6th on the Hilltopper, so UTEP in the bonus for the final 6:41 of the ball game. They've got 4 fouls to their credit, and they're actually going to call that a foul in the act of shooting. So it'll be 2 fouls anyways for Elijah Jones.
4 fouls on UTEP, so it's a while before WKU is going to get to the bonus.
Marshall with 4 fouls for WKU. Hebb checking back in for UTEP also has 4. That's really the only foul trouble to note on either side. No other players with more than 2. As Jones, who had only been to the line 9 times this season before this game, is now 3 for 4 at the stripe tonight. And it's 62-61. WKU's lead is back down to 1. Jones with 10 points in this ball game, coming off a season-high 12 against Kennesaw State, has really pieced together a great couple of games.
Earning some more playing time. He's only averaging about 10 points or 10 minutes per game. He's played 12 in this one. There's still 8 minutes to go.
McHenry hesitates on the wing, gets the block, falls down with it, and WKU has to take a timeout.
And he looks like he hit a slick spot right there and went to the floor. Fortunately maintained his dribble, and Coach Polona quickly gets the timeout called to preserve the possession.
WKU leads it by 1, 62-61. We just talked about the field goals for WKU, how the number had seemingly dipped a little bit in the second half. Well, now they've made 5 out of their last 6 shots. They're up to 53% for the game. UTEP at 41%. We're dead even from outside. 7 3-pointers for each team. Hilltoppers with 15 turnovers overall in this game, but they've done a much better job of controlling the basketball in the second half. Really how offensively both teams have been exponentially better in the second half.
Yeah, 4 second half turnovers for WKU, 5 for the Miners, so they've cleaned it up a good bit. Free throws are a big part of this right now. WKU is a -9 at the stripe. 16 makes and 20 attempts for UTEP, and WKU 7 of 10 attempts.
I mentioned this earlier, but worth noting again, the Hilltoppers on the season just 2-6 when they get outshot at the free throw line. They're just 2-6 when they're outshot from outside. Right now, that's dead even. They're defying the numbers in this game as Colombe is wide open on the block. Edlin finds him, and the Hilltoppers lead it by 3 out of the timeout. Well-used timeout there for Coach Polona.
And that's why teams work tirelessly on inbounds plays underneath your own basket. If you catch somebody asleep for just a fraction of a second, that's all it takes. You can get a basket, which may be the difference in the win and a loss.
Terrell was trying to throw it to Hebb, who was breaking outside, and it's stolen away by WKU. 3rd turnover for Terrell with his 7 assists. Colombe, left side, jabs twice, thought about the triple, instead goes to Edlin, puts it on the floor, gets around Hebb, leaves it off at the last moment for Cada, can't finish with the baby hook. and it's rebounded on the baseline by Frazier. Edelin picked his pocket, though, dives for it, but touched it last out of bounds on the sideline.
You can't set it up any better than the Toppers did for that. They got it to Keita right in front of the basket. Just strong-armed the shot, but then turn around and look at those quick hands. Edelin with the almost takeaway, poked it away, but chased the ball out of bounds with his body. So goes back to UTEP. 26 on the shot clock.
Any in-state player, an instant crowd favorite at WKU, but Edelin really broke out last year, has continued to be a member of this rotation this season. He's only averaging 10 minutes per game, but has played a lot in the second half in particular.
Well, I think fans in general always pull for the teams that gets on the floor and gets after it and plays just with a lot of hustle.
Step back three, in and out. Missed by Barnes, and Lander is fouled after he got the rebound. And the Diddle Arena crowd starting to come to life here.
5 team fouls now on UTEP.
I don't think either team would really mind it delving into a free throw shootout. Both good at the line, over 70% as a team. UTEP has been excellent tonight at 16 for 20. Hilltoppers 7 for 10. As Lander denies the screen. Step back three from the right wing. That one rattles off. And a foul called on the floor down low. That one will be against UTEP. Believe they'll get Kalu as he was battling for the rebound with Keita. And now both teams with 6 fouls. Each side of the bonus for the rest of the game.
See that shot up inside, and you see the scrum. Now you couldn't really see on that play, but in real time you could see the hook.
Edelin tried to hook that one over his head to Keita, but just threw it out of bounds. He's got a knack for trying to make those flashy passes. Sometimes you get a highlight like you had in the first half, and sometimes you get some misfires.
You got to know your recipient. Keita's not real good on the move, trying to catch that pass.
They have double team. This trap from WKU has been very effective. Terrell. One more pass to Hebb in the corner for 3. He swishes it home. Second 3 for Hebb in this ball game. He had only made 2 on the season coming into tonight.
In 8 attempts, so he hasn't played a lot, but he is certainly capable of knocking down the long balls. He has shown a couple times this evening.
Edelin loses it on the drive. On the pass from Keita, here comes UTEP the other way. Terrell to Hebb. Thought about stepping into another one. Instead, drives inside. At the last moment, has to throw it out to Terrell. And they'll reset offensively in a 64-all ball game.
UTEP forced 22 turnovers against Kennesaw State, and that come from behind win last week.
Hebb kicks it into the corner. Bynum's 3, that was Barnes misfiring. It's rebounded, though, by McHenry. Double teamed and fouled from behind. That will send him to the line in the bonus.
Don Henry looks like he welcomes the little bit of a break right here. He's struggling for air.
And Frazier did not like that call. He was chatting with the official for a good bit after that, which was his first foul of the game.
Yeah. A lot of players on both sides down on their knees trying to get a little extra air in those lungs. See McHenry coming up on the right side. He dribbles into a double team.
It looked like Frazier got that arm. McHenry will have the 1-and-1. Edelin comes out for WKU. Jalen Jackson back in.
Yeah, the question with Jackson is, can you leave him in down the stretch here? He's only a 61% free throw shooter. He's improved his free throw shooting, believe it or not. He was in the 30 to 40% range earlier, but he's gotten a little bit better.
McHenry makes the first. He's 5 for 7 at the stripe so far tonight. Make it 6 for 8.
Bayless comes in to give McHenry a bit of a breather.
Only took 4 shots in that opening half. Now he's 3 for 9 from the floor, just 1 for 5. He's tried to find it in the second half of play, but he's been consistent at the line, and now WKU leads 66-64. Right side Barnes, up top Terrell. Has a screen waiting for him with Kalu at the top of the key. Wraps left and gives it over to Barnes, then gets it right back. Hesitates. Barrels into Jackson. Blocking foul called. Was a huge collision, but don't think he quite had his footing.
Yeah, I think it was the right call. That was just a bang play, and both players go in the same direction. I think you got to definitely give preference to the ball handler in that case.
Diddle Arena crowd, unsurprisingly, doesn't agree. I've never seen them agree with a foul against WKU. It'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Terrell after this break in a 2-point ball game. WKU leading it inside Diddle Arena. Just 3:47 left inside Diddle Arena. WKU and UTEP facing off in a rematch of the Conference USA Tournament title game from a year ago. The Hilltoppers with a 2-point edge. It's been a physical game both ways there. Big collision as Jalen Jackson tried to get in position to draw the charge from David Terrell, but not quite set there how. We both agreed there before the break, probably the right call.
Yeah, no hesitation. You can see the official Doug Sermons there on the wing right on that play. Quickly went to the block signal. So Doug Sermons has certainly paid his dues in college basketball. He's been around a long time.
Terrell will have a 1-and-1 opportunity. He's 2 for 2 at the stripe tonight. 10 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 steals in this ball game, and he makes the first of these 2 free throws to earn a chance to tie it up at the stripe. Just a 63% shooter on the season at 8 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists last time out against Kennesaw State. He swishes that one through, and we're all tied up again. This has been as good of a game as we expected it to be. Colombe's got to find an option, just throws a jump ball to Marshall. And I guess if there's anybody on WKU side to throw that to, it is Wu Marshall, who holds it now on the baseline, and they reset on the right wing with Christian Lander. Coach Plona directing his guys. ODI gives it over to Marshall. Has a mismatch against the much smaller Barnes. Tries to throw it to Colombe. Ill-advised pass, and it's picked off by Frazier on the block. Yeah,
that was a poor decision right there. That's now the 18th turnover and the 14th steal that UTEP's been able to manage.
11th time they've had double-digit steals this season. Right wing Barnes puts it on the floor. Caught against Marshall, throws it between ODI's legs, and Frazier is able to collect and score on the right block. I don't know that that was on purpose, but it was a thing of beauty.
That's now 20 points off turnovers that UTEP has been able to manage. The Hilltoppers with 11.
McHenry gets a screen from ODI to Lander. Back to McHenry, guarded by Hebb. Beats him to the rim, floats it up, and gets it to go over the 6'9" Kalu.
Yeah, tough take by McHenry. Beat Hebb off the dribble. Kalu came over to help out. McHenry able to get it high over his hands and off the glass.
McHenry's got 16 points, 1 off his season average. Terrell drives against Lander, behind the back dribble, inside, fades to his right, flips it up, missed it long. Fight for the rebound is won down low by ODI. Lander brings it across half court, goes right at Hebb to that left side, and he scores again from the left side.
That's at least 6 baskets he's made from the same spot.
70-68 WKU, 2-point lead with 2 minutes left. The Diddle Arena crowd on their feet.
It's gotten loud in this arena. Opened in 1963 originally.
Frazier post Lander, trying to kick it out. It's deflected, and ODI up with it for WKU. Here comes Lander. He's got a career-high 26. Double between the legs dribble. Operating left again. Fades away. He can do no wrong tonight.
That was a very tired shot. He had absolutely no lift on it. But fortunately, he's good at geometry and hit the right angle right off that square.
He's played a team-high 31 minutes. He's 11 for 14 from the floor. Another deflected ball. Terrell comes up with it, though, into the corner. Frazier for 3, hits it, and the foul. That'll suck the air right out of this arena.
For sure. I believe that foul was on Enoch Colombe for WKU.
They do get it on Enoch. And with the free throw, Frazier can tie this game up. He's played a much better second half. Just 2 points in the first 20 minutes. He's got 11 as he heads to the line now. 9th three-pointer of the game for UTEP.
That was a big shot from the corner right in front of his bench.
Free throw misses, though, and a strong rebound is yanked down by ODI. And WKU with 1:15 left leads by 1. McHenry holds it up top.
Both teams with a timeout remaining.
ODI comes to set a screen, and said McHenry operates the left wing. Isolated on Terrell, behind the back dribble. Drives, spins at the free throw line, gets inside, flips it up from 5 feet. Count it, and 1.
Wow. Great individual effort there by Don McHenry, looking for his spot off the dribble. They had a little isolation play, allowed him to go to work at the top. See how the defense is spread right there. Had some room inside. He works against the defender with the spin back over to his strong side. Again, another left-handed player. WKU with 3 lefties out there. McHenry, Columbe, and Lander right now.
Can make it a 2-possession game with the free throw. He's 6 for 8 there tonight. Now with 18 points on just 11 shots. Bends, fires, makes.
61 ticks of the clock remain.
Terrell brings it up as we tick under a minute left. David Terrell drives in, had it knocked away. Lou Marshall with it. Leaves it off Colombe. Wraps around to the left side, now holds it 15 feet from the basket. Guarded by Hebb. And WKU wants a timeout, and they will get it.
They got a timeout called. Colombe went down and picked up his dribble.
Yes.
Boy, that's just the no-no that you cannot, you just can't pick up your dribble.
I was very surprised that UTEP didn't trap on that.
Well, they were on him tough one-on-one for sure. Colombe just smacked himself upside the head. He realized that he made a mistake, but that just burned WKU's last timeout. So that'll be one thing they'll talk about in this. So the reset shows 1 timeout remaining for UTEP. The possession arrow favors the Miners as well. So 46.7 seconds to go. Tops will have 22 seconds on the shot clock. 46.7 on the game clock.
And when you force turnovers like UTEP, leading the country in that department, when you shoot threes like UTEP, the second best team in terms of percentage in Conference USA, and they've shot it at 39% tonight, just a tick above their season average of 38%. This is a Miners team that's nowhere near out of this game, and if you're WKU, you have to come out. You can't play not to lose. You've got to play to win this ball game in the final 47 seconds.
Yeah, and you know that you have to be strong with the basketball, so don't let them. You know, you've got to protect the ball. You got to play big, keep those arms out. Don't let anybody pull it away from you. It's like a running back going down the middle of the lane. You don't want to have it stripped. So you got to play strong and make them foul you if they're gonna reach in.
28 points from Lander leads everybody. Career high for the Indiana native and transfer. 5-star recruit out of high school, spent 2 years with the Hoosiers, wasn't what he wanted, makes his way to WKU. We've seen the potential time after time. And tonight, he's put it on full display. 28 points, 11 for 14 from the floor, 4 for 6 from 3-point range, a 31% shooter from outside on the season. Had gone just 5 for 26. From 3-point range in his last 4 games, went 0 for 6 against Sam Houston last time out.
Yeah, that's that streakiness, but WKU's favor. He has been good tonight.
Gets it on the baseline, wraps around. That time forced to try to go up on the right side, missed the layup. Here comes Frazier. Up top, Terrell, guarded by Marshall. Wraps around into the corner. Frazier tries a 3. Missed it long. Marshall chases down the rebound. Tipped it to McHenry. Ball still loose. On the floor, Terrell up with it, and he got the timeout for UTEP. That's their final one of the ball game with just under 27 seconds left to go.
That was quite a scrum for that loose ball. I tell you, everybody was letting it all hang out right there as they went for it, got on the floor. Several players chased that thing all the way out to nearly half court.
We've got 26.8 left officially. WKU up 75-71. Multiple opportunities for the Hilltoppers to secure that ball in the fray, but I know in the back of the mind there, Hal, for Tyrone Marshall was not picking up foul number 5 late in this ball game.
Yeah, he's valuable to this team, and certainly he needs to be out there, but it was a good effort on both teams going after that loose ball. Everybody was prone going after it, and UTEP able to get control of it just long enough to use their last timeout. So for WKU in their favor, it did burn up some time.
Yeah.
You saw some valuable seconds tick off before anyone was able to get control of that basketball.
In that whole sequence, about 14-15 seconds come off the clock, nothing doing for UTEP. Frazier was the one to try the 3. He's 2 for 7 for the game. Barnes is 2 for 6. Bynum 2 for 5. Surprised that he hasn't been out there, especially when you look at his proficiency on the season, over 50% from outside. They're really leaning on Frazier, and you expect Barnes over the final stretch of this game Hebb's been out there with 4 fouls, finding a way to stay in this ball game. Not much of a shooter most of the season, but he's made 2 in this ball game tonight. He will be the inbounder out of the timeout as Coach Golding comes out to give his final instructions out of the timeout.
And his final instructions were, he was saying no timeouts remaining, reminding his guys.
Ball up top, Barnes. Right side, Terrell denies the screen. Gets around Lander, flips it outside. Quick trigger 3, missed well short by Barnes, and it's rebounded by Marshall for WKU, and he's wrapped up quickly with under 20 seconds to go.
Hardest ball to rebound is one that doesn't hit anything. And fortunately,
that was also the 5th foul on Hebb.
Yep. Fortunately for WKU, Marshall was looking at the shooter when he let that one go, so he was ready as it missed everything. Got the foul immediately, so he'll get a couple of, no, it's just a 1-and-1. There's only 19 fouls on the Miners.
Barnes, a 37% shooter from outside, was a pretty clean look, but I think there was busy adjusting the body, maybe wanted to try to get the call against McHenry, who was running through, and the free throw, though, missed by Marshall. UTEP had it back. It's lost on the sideline.
Uh-oh. Did he get?
If they called a timeout, then that's a technical foul. It's either out of bounds. What's the call going to be?
I think they called a timeout.
If that's a timeout with no timeouts remaining, you said there, out of that last timeout, the last instruction was we have no timeouts.
So that's a Class B. That's one of the 2 exceptions.
We're getting an explanation now from the official. Hal will provide it to us in a moment, as it is in fact the case that UTEP took the timeout with no timeouts remaining in this game with 14.9 seconds left. Hal, what was the explanation you got?
Class B technical, it is not possession, but it's 2 free throws. So last thing Joe Golding told his team, don't call any more timeouts. They go down the court, immediately call a timeout when they got in that situation, and that's understandable. I mean, under duress like that, you just kind of lose control.
Trying to save it on the sideline.
That's right. So WKU will get 2 free throws, not the ball. It goes back to the same point, and UTEP it was their possession, so they will have possession after this. Tom McHenry missed the first one.
He's now 7 for 10 at the stripe. The foul that Chris Weber made famous or infamous, depending on how you view it, as the second free throw goes. McHenry, frustrated with himself, looked down and had a couple words after he got the second one to go. It's a 5-point game, 76-71 with 15 seconds left. It is UTEP ball as you laid out right in front of the WKU bench. Hilltoppers applying pressure, but you've got to do so without fouling here.
Yes, you don't want to put them at the line, nothing free. Make them work for it.
Terrell, he brings it across half court. Blitzes past everyone, and there WKU commits the cardinal sin as the foul is committed down low by Odiai, and it's finished through the contact.
Well, you can't blame him. I mean, he's 6'11". He's in there to protect the rim and block shots, so that's what he was trying to do. But you know, if you're gonna foul in that situation, do it hard enough that the player cannot make the shot, which he did.
Terrell has played a great game. He'll be the one to take the free throw. He's got 14 points to lead the way for UTEP. They put 4 players in double figures, which is pretty much the expectation for them. Missing second leading scorer Corey Camper in this game. But the free throw falls for Terrell, and the lead is 2 for WKU with 10.8 seconds left. And now you got to get it in against this vicious defense.
And no timeouts left either, so that's tough.
Lander gets in the corner, just throws it ahead to Marshall. Lou Marshall finishes through the contact.
Wow, that was a tough play. It was hard to get it in. They had to go all the way to the corner.
Bynum floats it up from the midcourt logo, misses, and that'll do it. 78-74. WKU survives on their home floor in this rematch of the conference title game from a year ago. The Hilltoppers take it by 4. Marshall with the dagger there at the end. The Hilltoppers had to make a stand defensively, and they did, Hal.
Well, fans got their money's worth here today. This was a battle from start to finish. WKU getting the better of UTEP. UTEP on the road, their first road loss now, as they fall to 2-1 on the road in conference play. Tops get back to even in conference play at 4-4 overall.
Career high for Christian Lander, who goes for 28 points. 11 for 15 from the floor, 4 for 6 from three-point range. Could tell early on in this game that he was in for a special night, but how WKU needed every single one of the 28 that he could give them in this ball game.
There's no question about that. He made shot after shot off that left block going to the basket. UTEP did as good as they were defensively. They did a poor job of stopping Lander and recognizing that's where he wanted to go, and he was able to get there repeatedly. That was the difference in the game for sure here today.
McHenry goes for 20, got it done when he had to. A lot of it was late in this ball game. Still finds a way to reach that 20-point mark for the third consecutive game, and did so more efficiently. 5 for 11 from the floor as a team. WKU 56% from the floor in this ball game.
It's been a while since they've been able to shoot that well from the floor, but as you mentioned earlier in this one, Tyler, when they shoot above 40%, they're usually pretty good on the win column, and they showed it here this evening.
Hilltoppers moved to 4-4 in Conference USA play, 13-8 overall on the season. UTEP now 15-6 overall on the year, 5-3 in CUSA play. We'll see if the Miners can recover and do what most teams have not been able to do, although last week broke it completely, which is go on the road and win in Conference USA on a Saturday with that back-to-back. They'll be next at Middle Tennessee State. For WKU, they'll be back inside Diddle Arena Saturday when they take on New Mexico State. For my partner, Hal Smith, for the entire ESPN Plus crew, I'm Tyler Eaton. Thank you for joining us for Conference USA Basketball.